between Canada and Japan. And Brenda, we've talked about it all week long, but anytime Japan is in the pool, it is a different style of water polo and now an adjustment opportunity here for Canada.
No, I already noticed like the spread out, like a ball side drive, and Japan, you know, traditionally a smaller team, so they're looking for their speed. So I'm looking forward to watching them.
Yeah, they've had to spread the pool out in their games, and they've been pretty successful. They've clearly been, and this is of course the third place game, but they have clearly been the third best team here this week. If you look at how they've played consistently throughout, Canada has come on late. Lob attempt here. Jessica Gaudreau does a nice job pulling that down for Team Canada. And this is a different Canadian team, and all the battles you had with Canada, the roster, some names you know, and then others that are up-and-comers.
No, it's great to see both, right? You see the veterans that are still around because they love the game, and then you see all these youngsters coming up. Great inside turn.
And just an ordinary there. And they pull the ball back out. Shot clock to 5, backhand and a save.
Backhanded shot by the man.
And the stop there for Japan's Yuka Kamatashiro. So they go with their backup keeper in this one. This is part of that style. Look at Japan. There is no center traditionally right now. They're not looking to work for 2 meters. And that pass into no man's land taken away by Canada. You touched on patience on offense in our last game, and that really, in a way, defines Japan. If they don't have an opportunity really early in the shot clock, they kind of abandon and go back on defense.
That kind of reminds me of like the old Russian teams. They were always just so disciplined with their game plan. They weren't going to make very many mistakes. It's like you play percentages, right? Like how many times am I going to score? Like how many times am I going to get good opportunities?
Here's one of them on the counter, and Gaudreau is there with the left hand. They'll come back in at 2 meters, a new shot clock here for Japan. Opening moments of the first quarter in their third place game. Gold medal match to follow USA, Australia, and then we'll have our medals presented. Capping a great week of water polo here at UC Davis. Outside attempt, that's off the bar. Long distance try there from Kotori Suzuki, the captain of this Japanese team.
Both teams are really far out.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that's just the trend for the day.
Canada now working towards the goal, but an offensive before they could get live. And this is clearly the way Japan wants to play. Canada now has to figure out a way to kind of counteract this as we get a counterattack from Japan. Cruising in once more, a shooting opportunity. Passing there, and they score it.
Great ball movement.
Goal by Japan, number 10, Misaki Noro.
I think
Noro
most
hitting.
teams you would have seen a quick shot
Yep.
from the center cage, highest percentage, but I think really moving the goalie across the goal gave them their best opportunity. So great patience and ball movement.
And the goal there. You see a second look from Misaki Noro, the left-hander drilling it and swimming right by. It's like being at the aquarium. But so you're Canada, you have the bigger bodies per se, not the usual center you see for Canada and Christina Logbo, but with that size, how do you counteract what Japan's trying to do here?
Well, you still need to get the ball into a position to go into your center to take advantage of it. I don't think that in the last few possessions Canada's really done that. You need to go to your transition. So quickly get the ball into your center before Japan can set up and move around and get your center tired.
Lob attempt nearly fooled the Canadian keeper. That one's bar down and out.
Bars out.
Looks like Japan is not shy about taking shots at the end of a shot clock.
Hook shot, wild attempt there from Elise LeMay. She's been a tough cover in that 2-meter position for opponents of Canada this week, but that led easily to a counterattack now. Japan pulling up, skying it high, so a great opportunity just off the mark, but their physical fitness playing a factor. They can swim for hours and getting out of the counterattack here.
And that's always a great, I don't know if you say skill, but something that all new and upcoming teams need to have in order to stay in games with the bigger, more physical, more experienced teams.
There's a backhand, and Canada's on the board. Elise LeMay hitting on the turn. And we're tied at 1 with 3:31 to play in the first. Second look here, LeMay gonna get an opportunity and a quick turn. And Japan will gamble a bit on defense. They'll try and be in 2 places at once, and LeMay able to take advantage.
And if they have the speed, like, why not?
Yeah.
Why not push it a little bit, right? Especially early on, you kind of get to know what your opponents are going to do when you do that. It's just collecting information at this point.
These two may see each other next month in Shanghai at the World League Super Finals, so might as well gather some information, see what these teams do well. Trying to turn inside. Spinning around there on the perimeter, that's Shea Fournier. Canada running out of time on this possession. Bakazi thought about it, goes to Fournier, who will get it off at the horn, off the post. Trying to go cross cage.
That was kind of a gamble.
Especially now, Japan quickly the other way. Inside 2 meters, ordinary called. They move the ball down the pool so quickly. And that pass, a little too high. Intended there for Arima, but an easy steal for Canada and Michelle Caron.
But both times, Japan's making those passes when the defender doesn't know where the ball is. So I like that. I like that they're taking advantage of defenders not knowing where the ball is.
Well, we talked about the adjustments they've had to make as now here's a bad pass, and they'll come up with a steal. They don't have the physical presence to just throw the pass into 2 meters and overpower somebody, so they've got to use something different, and you've talked about it. Here coming along, and another steal, so trying to advance, and then a takeaway there from Canada.
And with this front from Japan, Canada really needs to get their players on the 2 meter line, because that's going to get them the best entry pass into their center.
A ton of perimeter steals here. You see that from time to time, but it's happened quite a bit in this first quarter. Now ball under. Nobody can get in a groove here offensively.
It's like they're threading the needle with these passes, and
inside the 2 without the ball. That goes against LeMay. Wasn't aware of where she was at. Perhaps anticipating a pass that never came. With 1:17 to play in the first.
which is a bummer because that was a great move.
Yeah. Well, catch and shoot off the post, but not all the way in. Gaudreau able to gather that one before it could cross fully into the cage. Now long outlet, Bakazi leaking out, so Canada giving Japan some of their own medicine. That lob is bar down and out. And we're under a minute to play in the first quarter. This reminds me a bit of like street ball basketball here, where we're just running and gunning, throw the ball down, see what you can do, take a shot. We'll go back the other way.
I mean, I don't mind it, but I think it takes a toll, right? It just takes another type of conditioning to be able to do that for a whole quarter, for a whole game.
Yeah, it's fun to watch, but if you're in the water, I'm sure it's exhausting. 35 seconds to play in the first. Here's Bakazi. He's been on this team for quite some time. Lob inside, great catch, but off the post. Second effort, backhand is in. Great hands from Elise LeMay, able to catch with one hand, hold the defender off with the other, and then get that second effort follow, a 2-1 lead.
And that's going to she's setting in deep, they're fronting her, so getting the ball really deep and getting that entry pass. And
able to stick with it.
yeah, and that's great vision, right? I feel like it's hard to know where your own rebound goes and really quickly adjust to see where the ball is.
Shot clock is off. 20 seconds left in the first quarter. Third place game, Canada and Japan. Canada ahead by 1. Far side drive there for Japan. They'll pull it back out after the ordinary. Down to 9 seconds left now. Over the top they go. That's tipped away. And a steal. Canada will call for time with 5 seconds left. And a chance to put something together here using their use it or lose it timeout here in the first quarter. 2-1, Canada in front. Coming up next, gold medal match. USA takes on Australia at 12:30 p.m. Pacific time. We'll have it for you live right here on USA Water Polo TV, facebook.com/USAWP. Here's a look at the Canada huddle. Coach David Paradello. And a mixture of, we talked about some veterans, some newcomers. If you follow college water polo in the U.S., you'll recognize a lot of names on the Canadian roster now that have been sprinkled throughout the college game. From Stanford to Indiana, Cal, among others. Coach Paradello there going to the whiteboard.
And I personally like to see that, right? I think that getting some of these players into our NCAA system definitely raises the level of play, and
Sure.
I think that benefits Team USA in the long run.
So you like the international flavor
I do.
of the
I mean,
college game?
I don't know if there's a number
Yeah.
to cap it at, right? But I do like, I remember playing and having like the best Russian player in the world, the best Russian player, the best Hungarian player, and it helped me. I knew them.
Yeah. And you could use that as you
Yes.
went towards the international scene. Out of time here in the first quarter. Canada doesn't get a shot off out of the timeout, but they have taken a 2-1 lead over Japan in our third place game. We'll take a timeout and return. Second quarter upcoming. Stay with us here from UC Davis live on USA Water Polo TV. Second quarter has begun. 2-1, Canada in front over Japan. Brenda Villa and Greg Meskel here with you from UC Davis and the Shaw Aquatic Center. This is the FINA Intercontinental Tournament, a qualifier for the FINA World League Super Final. Our teams have already been determined as far as qualification goes. Now working on medals, the bronze medal at stake here between Canada and Japan. Ball turns over, and Japan will take control. A little backcourt activity. It's going to leave Japan up now on the advantage. Cruising in, here's Chiaki Sakanu. Left-hander, can't beat the keeper. Gaudreau turns that one aside on the attempt there from Noro.
That quick shot, giving up that 2-on-1 for Canada.
Here comes an entry. Ordinary called. Shot attempt, going to be inside the 5 there. And wave off the goal. And it's a dangerous game for Canada if they want to hang on to Japan in the backcourt, because the minute they break loose, they don't have the speed to keep up with Japan.
Yeah, and it goes into a cycle, right? Like, Japan wants a fast tempo game because it benefits them, and Canada really needs to slow it down so that they don't give up one-on-nobodies. So it's really going to be about who can establish their game plan early on. That'll be the successful team.
Trying to impose your style on your opponent. The turnover there. Canada did a nice job crashing 3 black hats in to come take that one away. Here's Gurpreet Sohi passing the ball inside. The fellow former Stanford Cardinal in the water.
Yes.
Shot clock about to expire here for Canada. And McKee will leave it aside.
And their number X5 or number 11 did a great job just falling off and discouraging that quick pass in, and that kind of took away the whole offensive possession for Canada. They really need to establish their 1 and 5 position so that they can make the most of their center.
Well, it's hard, too, for Canada. It feels like they're not getting the full value out of their shot clock by the time they get down the pool. Saved there by Gaudreau. You have to give her credit. She's done a nice job keeping Canada ahead. And you'd almost feel at times as if Canada's trailing in this game. They're not. They're ahead 2-1.
No,
the
I have
way
that
the style's
sense.
going.
Well, there's more shots by Japan, so that gives you that sense. And as players, you almost feel that sometimes, too.
Here's LeMay again off the post this time. Hit off the near post, now goes off the far post. Those are the opportunities that Canada needs.
Yes, and I will say if she let go of the defender, she could have maybe gotten in a little closer and maybe really made full force of her shot.
Lifetime sub here for Japan with 5:30 to go in the first half. A long way from the cage. Tangle here on the near side as a Canadian player is missing their cap now. Low skip, and Gaudreau is there. Again, LeMay setting up shot, but nobody there as that pass is deflected.
Japan doing a great job. All you need is a little deflection, and
it's complete isolation. The ball is out there. Forcing long passes. Now here's where they struggle on offense when they can't get a counter going. See how far everything is removed from the goal. They're going to try some movement, but to no avail, and a steal there for Canada. There's a real battle. And they're going to pull the ball out. That was a battle between Bakazi and Magariama, who took a kick to the face from Bakazi. And it'll be a double exclusion. I think Magariama got the worst of that exchange, but both guilty for holding each other at some point.
Yes. And I think at some point as a player, then you just have to let go and then pause for a second and then readjust, because you don't know what it looks like from the outside.
Yeah, this is true. Backhand attempt is over the goal.
Shot by LeMay, misses high.
It's going to take a lot of mental discipline, though, to be in those moments and kind of say to yourself, you know what, I'm going to back off here for a minute.
Or the test is then, right, it happens once. Do you adjust from there? Because you don't really know how it's going to be called. So now if you see that adjustment from Bakazi, then you're like, okay, experienced player knows that she has to make that adjustment.
Sure. Soft backhand there. Doesn't reach the cage. 4 minutes gone by. Second quarter. 2-1 Canada over Japan. Bronze medal game at the Intercontinental tournament here from UC Davis. Trying to pass to LeMay on the interior, but too high.
Well, and the angle, right? It's like you have to be on that same plane as her. But because he had the great reach, you want to skip a person, right? You want to quickly get it across the pole.
Bakazi with a near steal. Stays with Japan. And they'll pull back towards the middle of the pool and surrender this possession. Just tossing that one back to the keeper. Not really much of a shot attempt.
Shot by Hosoya.
And I
they'll
get
go
how
back.
they're pulling back because they don't want to give anything up. But if you give it to the goalkeeper, it's like letting them attack quicker.
At that point, just throw it in the corner.
Exactly.
Here's Bakazi. Double team coming. Now triple. And it's stolen away. Compared to our first game, Kazakhstan, China, this one, the value on the passes is so high because we've seen so many tips, deflections, things are so spread out. If you're not on point with your pass, it's going to be a turnover. Japan covers ground. You don't have the luxury of saying, I'm going to put it on the water and let my player go get it. A steal there. And then conversely, Canada has the size.
Exactly.
So if Japan doesn't put it to a hand, they'll just reach over a longer arm and take it away.
Because that, to me, seemed like it was a great pass and something could have happened there. But then the size came into play. And
yeah, if you don't have the physical presence to bowl that person out of the way, you're never going to get a chance. And here's Canada now working inside. Shot clock to 6, and an exclusion called with 2 minutes to play.
Exclusion number 4.
Good look right in front.
yeah, in the
And
2.
wave it off inside the 2. And you can see Coach Paradello was thinking about using a timeout there. Didn't do it because he saw a quick opportunity. And instead, no goal there. Canada wants that one back.
And yellow card issued to Canada's head coach.
And Coach Paradello getting a yellow card there. Was unhappy with that call.
But I think it was finally Canada letting go of the ball and then earning an exclusion. They're turning, but they're not letting go, so they're not getting rewarded. So maybe that's an adjustment that they can think about.
Halftime upcoming, a chance to talk through some things here. And all these teams have played each other this week, so it's not the first time they've had to deal with this attack. .120 to play. First half. A 2-1 lead for Canada. Low scoring affair. Attempt there, wide of the cage, out of play.
Shot by Canada's Shea Fournier. Misses wide.
These two met on the first day of competition. It was a 13-8 win for Japan over Canada, so a much more low-scoring affair here to start. Credit Canada, too. They have gotten better as the week has gone on.
$13-8.
Yeah.
I think both teams, I don't know if it's the goalie play or the defense, a different strategy, but it seems like it's going to be a lower
Yes.
scoring game today.
Yeah. You go out on a ledge there saying that one. 2-1 here at halftime. Here's LeMay. Poor pass there. And a steal for Japan. About 2 seconds separating shot and game clock. As Japan goes out on the counter again, defender giving chase. So 6-on-5 advantage here for the moment. They've got help near side. This will line up nicely. Score it for Japan. Yumi Arima, and we're tied at 2 with 17 seconds left in the first half.
That was a pretty textbook, like 6-on-5 counterattack, well executed by Japan. But it's also that kind of 50-50 pass you make for Canada, and then you give up that counterattack. So
And you were feeling this near side opportunity the whole way.
Yes. It's like make the extra pass. So you see Canada's defense kind of taking a chance and shifting towards the middle. For me personally, it's like, no, keep them right in front with a lot of shot blockers.
Sure.
Once you get it to 1 or 5, the angles are in the shooter's favor and the goalie has to move more. So
17 seconds to play. First half, 2-2 Japan and Canada. And definitely a different scene than what we saw on Tuesday in that high-scoring affair between the two teams. We know power plays aren't going to generally be that impactful for Japan, depending on who they're playing. Just a combined 3 exclusions, and no team has converted on the extra player.
Timeout called by Canada.
Now Canada will use their timeout with 9 seconds left. Kazakhstan defeating China in our first game 14-7 to take 5th place. And coming up at 12:30 p.m. Pacific time, we'll have Team USA and Australia for gold. We'll be right here at the UC Davis Shaw Aquatic Center. You have a lot of memories of this facility? Have you played?
driving
with
up
the
here
national
today,
team?
I looked over to my husband and I'm like, you watched me play here, right? Didn't we do like a couple series, like the end of my career? And
USA hosted China here
Yes.
back in the 2010. I'm sure you were part of that. And then collegially, would Stanford come this way often?
You know,
Now I'm really asking you to go back.
yes, that you're, especially now with motherhood, Greg. There's some things that just don't pop
You
up
had
in my
to, you had to
memory
clear
anymore.
out
Yes.
the useless stuff about the game versus
All my
Davis.
stats are all
Yeah.
the our games, wins, and losses that I used to store up there.
Just 5 seconds left. The skip from Perot is wide of the cage. 4 seconds left here for Japan. And they will sit on this one. And that brings us to halftime. Third place game in a defensive battle. It's 2-2 between Japan and Canada. Third quarter is coming up. We will take a timeout and return with the third right here live at the FINA Intercontinental Tournament on the campus of UC Davis. Stick with us on USA Water Polo TV.
So, you've got your hard-earned money, but you're not sure where to put it. Well, one of the best things that you can do is put it into a credit union. Credit unions are like banks, only better. They offer higher rates of return, lower fees, and are safe and secure. And because they're not for profit, they're all about putting the people first. With credit unions, you're not just another face in the crowd, you're a member. And credit unions are member-owned and member-operated. Take control of your finances. Visit or contact Sea Air Federal Credit Union to find out all of the great reasons why you should join.
You never know where the next Olympian might be coming from, but it could be water polo, and that starts with Splash Ball. Splash Ball is a program for children ages 5 through 9 designed to introduce them to the sport of water polo while promoting water safety. Improve swimming skills and learn a sport you'll love for a lifetime. For more information, visit splashballusa.org. Third quarter underway here at the FINA Women's Intercontinental Tournament bronze medal match. And it's a close one between Canada and Japan. Brenda Villa and Greg Meskel here with you from the Shaw Aquatic Center on the campus of UC Davis. Some of the first half stats here, of course, just 2 goals per team. Yumi Arima, Misaki Noro scoring for Team Japan. And Elise Lemay has both scores for Canada. Lob attempt here, that's off the bar. Japan has gone to their starter now, Miyu Aoki, in cage after Yuka Kamatashiro started the first half.
That was a great give and go pass from number 9 on Japan that created a power play opportunity for them. Great adjustment, right, at half?
Yeah.
They're trying to generate more offense. They need to do more of those give and goes.
6-on-5 here for Japan. Just the 4th exclusion we've had in this game. Off the post. Good look, just couldn't bury it.
And I would say that's one way to kind of impose their will, right? Is Japan giving these give and goes, making a bigger Canada have to be more mobile and agile, coming over their hips.
Good look inside, but again, the double team there from Japan, so quick to converge. Canada has had success with LeMay working for her at 2 meters, but before she knows it, she's surrounded.
Yeah, great transition, right? In quickly, you think you have it, but Japan, great job. Second effort.
That shot sails a bit wide on the attempt there from Suzuki.
But I would say that this pace probably favors Japan. So,
Sure.
Yes, transition for Canada, but you also have to make sure that you're covered.
Perot beat the keeper with that low skip cross cage, but off the post. 2 minutes gone by, third quarter, tied at 2. Canada and Japan playing for bronze. Little drive through here, stop and pop, and a save there from Gaudreau. So again, Japan, as you alluded to, Brenda, they have tweaked some things here to try and get a bit more creative on offense and not just wait for the counter.
Yes, they're attacking a lot more from different positions now. Both goalkeepers doing a great job.
Axel Crevier trying to turn inside. Ball turns over again. And Japan quickly looking ahead. They have help. Filling a lane, far side lob attempt off the mark. And the issue now for Japan is making shots. They have had some looks. They've gotten the ball in the right place, just can't put the shots away.
And they're changing their shot selection, right? That was a lob. They're trying to skip low. I think they just need to get a little closer.
.508 to go, third quarter. 2-2, Japan, Canada. Here's a look inside. Great backdoor for LeMay. They put it over the top, but by the time she had a shot off, it was a save for Aoki. And now again, Japan going lifetime sub here as they advance into the front court. These games with Japan, you see a lot of swimming, not a lot of stopping. We saw yesterday, or 2 days ago rather, against Australia, where it was just nonstop swimming. Players were exhausted, going almost a full quarter without a stop.
No wonder you have these lifetime subs. I mean, you don't see that often.
And credit them for not allowing that possession when they lifetime sub to be a lost possession. Usually when you see that, you're essentially just giving up that possession.
Exactly.
Keeper comes way out. And then a steal. Tipped away there. Looks like she had a fistful of suit as well, as Sakano was able to rise up and tap that one away, but Japan comes the other end now. 4:08 to play in the third. That pass was behind the intended recipient, and Canada can take control. At about what minute mark in a quarter, if there hasn't been a stoppage, are you saying, please, somebody stop the game?
Well, you know, I think that's a great question. I think at one point somebody on maybe either team, a veteran, for one possession just maybe sits on the ball. And you set up where you say, like, hey, this possession, we're not going to just push it that much, and we're just going to kind of you're not going to take it off, but
Sure.
you're going to be more strategic about it.
And you see Japan again going to the corner to sub. Hasn't stopped their counter at all. They're going to get a lane here to shoot. Another save. Gaudreau knocking it down.
I would say that if Japan just took one extra second, they have the time to just pause and see what the goalie's doing.
Because they're already ahead.
Yes. I don't know if they're like in a frantic rush, but I think they have a second or two to just look at the goalie, lock the goalie down, and take a better shot attempt.
Shot clock to 10 here for Canada.
And you see Japan's doubling the center because Canada has half their field players in the defensive end.
They don't need to help anywhere else. That shot was deflected from behind. That pass almost taken away. Canadian player not paying attention there. That was put right in front of Dominique Perot, and now Japan on the advantage. But not much on that shot. Again, you talked about their patience, not exercising any there, rushing that shot.
But it might be their strategy, right? Like maybe they're trying to wear down Canada so that it comes to the fourth quarter, the last 2 minutes of the game.
Backhand. It's a hat trick for Elise LeMay. She has all the goals, and all the end-to-end finally came back to bite Japan there as Canada was ready and got a clean look.
And there, as a defender, you're thinking a backhand at 5 meters,
Yeah,
we'll give it to them.
take your
But
chances.
short end on that end, but I think in general, for the most part, I would take my chances.
And our first stoppage here in the third with our first goal. 3-2 Canada, 2:33 to go in the third quarter. Ball tipped, and a steal there for Canada. So now, perhaps after that goal and a little stoppage, some momentum being built here for Team Canada with 2:12 to play in the third quarter. LeMay again holding position. Double team comes and an ordinary. Ordinary. And then a turnover. Here comes Japan now on the attack. Quick shot and sails it high.
Shot by Arima misses high.
Canada working near side. And an easy save there for Aoki.
Shot by Covier, stop by Alvin.
Aoki now pushing the ball ahead. Japan moving in. Will they show a little patience here on offense? No, backhand off the post. A rare post-up opportunity there for Japan.
But I would say that's probably one of their better opportunities. One, they were closer to the goal. Two, like center cage.
Yep.
So I think they just need to get into that strike zone a little more.
And from behind, Japan coming over once more to force the turnover under a minute to go in the third quarter. 45 seconds to play.
Canada's going to need more than two players being active on the front court. I mean, it's been working with their center, but it's hard to sustain.
Yeah, they deployed an interesting defensive approach against the U.S. in their game. Kind of a modified drop defense and adding an extra defender to the goal. And now offensively we're seeing a different look here where they're essentially letting the center just go at it one-on-one and leaving everyone else hanging back to try and guard against the counter. Timeout called.
Against number
And a
12,
yellow
Nina
card
Badu
to
of Canada.
Canada's
Timeout
coach
called by
Paradello.
Japan.
Timeout called by Japan with 22 seconds left in the third and a 3-2 lead for Canada. You touched on the idea of Japan trying to wear down Canada with their strategy, but Canada has seemed to counter that by just not swimming as much.
And I think there, Japan got the ball in. It took Canada a couple seconds to crash back, and you can't really expect your defender to be able to hold somebody in good position for that long.
So a 6-on-5 coming for Japan with 22 seconds left and a chance to tie this game. Just one goal in this third quarter. 2-1 Canada after one, 2-2 at half, 3-2 Canada now. Great chance here for Japan to tie the game going to the fourth. Six on 5 for Japan. They work it around the perimeter. Good look. Skip shot deflected away. Good team defense there from Canada. And Canada now will call for time with 4 seconds left. Ahead 3-2.
It was like a good double rotation by Japan, but Canada just in the right place with those arms up, ready to shot block.
And Japan will look back at the game tape of this and see a host of opportunities to score the ball and just miss shots.
And I mean, most teams do that, right? They have like clips of games, so I hope they clip every shot attempt that they had and just kind of look at where the goalie is set up and like different options that they have.
Times where they could have been a bit more patient. If you think back to when you visited with the Japanese team back in 2013, you seeing tremendous strides here from that time period?
I would say so. I think it's a complete team when they have like a complete strategy that works for them.
Yep.
I think 3 years ago they were trying to, I guess, build their identity of how they wanted to approach the game, and I think this works really well for them. So kudos to their coaching staff to finding something that can be effective for them against the world.
Final shot there from Fournier, a save for Japan, and that's the end of 3 here in Davis. It's Canada 3, Japan 2, with the bronze medal on the line. Fourth quarter coming up here at UC Davis. We'll step aside and return with the final 8 minutes You're watching live on USA Water Polo TV.
So, you've got your hard-earned money, but you're not sure where to put it. Well, one of the best things that you can do is put it into a credit union. Credit unions are like banks, only better. They offer higher rates of return, lower fees, and are safe and secure. And because they're not for profit, they're all about putting the people first. With credit unions, you're not just another face in the crowd, you're a member. And credit unions are member-owned and member. So, you've got your hard-earned money, but you're not sure where to put it. Well, one of the best things that you can do is put it into a credit union. Credit unions are like banks, only better. They offer higher rates of return, lower fees, and are safe and secure. And because they're not for profit, they're all about putting the people first. With credit unions, you're not just another face in the crowd, you're a member. And credit unions are member-owned and member-operated. Take control of your finances. Visit or contact Sea Air Federal Credit Union to find out all of the great reasons why you should join.
You never know where the next Olympian might be coming from, but it could be water polo, and that starts with Splash Ball. Splash Ball is a program for children ages 5 through 9 designed to introduce them to the sport of water polo while promoting water safety. Improve swimming skills and learn a sport you'll love for a lifetime. For more information, visit splashballusa.org. Fourth quarter has begun. Canada leading Japan 3-2. Brent Navia and Greg Meskel here with you from UC Davis. Crowd starting to file in here ahead of the gold medal game. Team USA and Australia coming up. Here's Bakazi working inside. Trying to break free. Good look in front. LeMay looking for her fourth goal. And couldn't get a good hand on it. Now Japan will counter.
I will say I'm amazed at how many backcourt passes have been made today or in these two games that I've seen. They don't seem like they're high percentage, and I feel like a few years ago a lot of those were automatic offensives.
Sure.
Because the offensive player has the advantage.
Outside attempt. Off the mark. Tipped out.
Shot by Sakanoe, tipped away.
Gaudreau able to get a piece of that one.
Japan needs to go back to their give and goes, and I think that'll get them better looks on goal and maybe some more power plays.
So a minute gone by in the fourth quarter, 3-2 advantage for Canada. Near steal in transition and a takeaway. Kelly McKee coming over for the steal. Canada ahead in this low-scoring affair. They've figured out a way to hold the lead here after being defeated handily by Japan in the first game of this tournament. Here's a chance on the ordinary. Lob attempt and a score. Taking something off of it was Gurpreet Sohi. Saw the opportunity coming after the ordinary and just a soft touch on the lob, scores it.
Let's say the wind was in her favor. No.
It's been a very windy day here at UC Davis. It's calmed a bit. It was very blustery this morning as teams were warming up for our first game. And now where goals have been so hard to come by, a 4-2 lead feels much larger.
Yes. And I think this might settle Canada a little bit more. So I think that might actually give them some more confidence on offense and maybe give up less counterattack opportunities to Japan.
Japan trying to post a bit here. An ordinary called after the ball's tipped away. Little catch and shoot, lob try off the bar. A scramble for it, and Canada is there first.
Auto shot off the cage.
Not a bad idea, but I think Japan is a little unlucky today with some of these posts.
They are 2 for 24 now shooting. That is a poor shooting percentage for your math majors out there. .83.
Yes, they will have some film to look at.
0 for 3 on the power play as well, as you can imagine. Not as if Canada is shooting the lights out. They're 4 for 20, but here they are with a 2-goal lead. And add to that. Didn't see what happened there.
So one referee was calling the ball back out to the point of the foul, and she moved out to the point of the foul and then shot the direct shot. And I think the other ref felt that it just all took too long, so he didn't count it.
So wave off that goal, because you saw a mini celebration there for a moment and then turned away. Stays 4-2, 5:12 to go in the fourth. Three minutes gone by, fourth quarter. 2-goal lead for Canada. Spinning backhand, that one almost found a home off the bar.
But this is where you want Japan to be able to convert, right? Like on a risky shot like that.
You've got to make them pay.
Exactly.
And they can't. The skip sails left of the cage. This is just one of those days where they just can't buy a goal right now. They are getting the lanes, getting the looks, can't put it away.
And that's exactly what you wanted. She pushed it down. She got two defenders, made a great pass, and then the G-force is on for Canada, I think.
Looking to take the bronze here and bring that home from Davis, California. Final day of action at the FINA Intercontinental Tournament. LeMay working inside, draws the ordinary. Good look here coming for Canada. Off the bar. Kelly McKee can't hit. Just about to the halfway point of this fourth quarter. Does Japan have a rally in them?
They're up on the counterattack. They're trying to find some space.
That was nearly a goal. Gaudreau able to dig that one out.
I don't know if it's our higher point of view up here, but that was awfully close.
And we'll see if we can get a second look at that one. Goal judge didn't flinch.
I've always wondered what power goal judges have.
Canada adding another now, 5-2. They go in front, 3:36 to play as Bakazi fends off a defender to score it. And a 3-goal advantage might be all that Canada needs here. Here's Bakazi going to come free, working on the far side. Great interior pass between the defender and the goalie, and Bakazi buries it.
And she does a great job on that lefty side, so she's a very, a good, effective right-hander on that lefty side.
A 5-2 lead. It's been a 1-goal game almost throughout. Japan now posting, working at 2 meters. But the ball is a long way from home. Now the ball comes in, and an ordinary called with 8 seconds to go on the shot clock. Gaudreau again, hugging that near side post, able to turn aside the attempt from Japan with 3:05 to play.
That was a great goalie save. I feel like it had enough power, and it was like the right choice shot, but sometimes the goalies just have your number.
They can make the stops.
Yes.
Going from bad to worse here for Japan when they're missing of their own volition, and now Jessica Gaudreau stepping up and making some key stops. Scramble for it here. Japan controls. 2:40 to go in the fourth quarter. Japan running out of time here in this bronze medal match, trailing by 3. Haven't scored since back in the second quarter. Been a long drought. Ordinary called. And it'll get turned over, excuse me, and now Canada will take control. So with 2:28 to play here, Japan needed to take advantage of every possession they have. Canada spinning inside, Crevier working towards the goal. Keeper out, Naoki there for the steal.
I think the theme of today is you've got to score the ball, put the ball up.
Yes.
You're not going to get anything once you're in that strike zone.
Great defense there on the perimeter. McKee just tipping that one away. Here's Perot now off to the races. Under 2 to play in the fourth quarter. Canada has the bronze medal in sight. Bakazi tries to go inside, tipped away. She was passing that from her back, and it was an easy steal for Japan.
Great idea, but I think extra maybe breaststroke kick to go over the defender.
Entry inside, double team, and an exclusion called against Canada. 6-on-5 here for Japan with 1:32 to play. No timeout call just yet. They're going to play through. From the outside, that's off the post, and Gaudreau was there to tip it away. Nicely done for Jessica Gaudreau. Still on the advantage for the moment. Sides will be coming even here shortly as Japan almost throws that ball out of play. Jessica Gaudreau now 12 saves for Canada. And we know she's faced enough shots. Sides even now. Minute 8 to play. Field block there. Who's there first? It's Canada, and their defense now sealing things up here in the fourth quarter.
And they're up on a counterattack. This is definitely...
Here's Bakazi moving in. The floater off the bar. Couldn't put the final dagger in this one with 45 seconds left. And Canada's continued to leave half their team on the defensive end. It's helped them shore things up against this counter-attack-minded Japan squad. Easy save there. Center cage for Gaudreau. Caught it with 2 hands. And that should do it in this one. 25 seconds to play. And how about a turn of events here? Canada handled by Japan on Tuesday, allowing double figures in goals. They come back here and they call for timeout. They'll keep Japan to 2 goals more than likely and take the bronze medal.
I wonder what Japan's shooting percentage was when they last met.
I would gather it was much better than what we've seen today. Today, they are now 2 for 30, .67 shooting percentage here from the field. Canada is 5 for 25. So that is a brutal day, to put it mildly. We look back to when they met on Tuesday, and yes, Brenda, as you surmised, Japan was 46% from the field. 13 for 28. They went 1 for 1 on power plays, 1 for 1 on penalties. Much better on Tuesday than today.
And then you think about that's something that you can fix, right? It's like they have their game plan, they're still executing it to a certain extent. Maybe they need to work on shooting while being extremely tired, playing 6 games in 6 days, but
that's why you shoot the penalties at the end of practice. Get everyone all tired, see if you still have the focus, the execution. This one just about done. And that is all. A fist pump out of David Paradello. His team takes bronze at the 2017 FINA Women's Intercontinental Tournament. Congratulations to Canada. A 5-2 win over Japan. And they will be leaving with hardware. A 5-2 victory. Elise LeMay with a hat trick firing in 3 goals. Jessica Gaudreau does the job in net. 13 saves to push Canada to victory. Coming up next in about a half an hour, Team USA takes on Australia. Gold medal on the line here at the FINA Women's Intercontinental Tournament. Come back and join us. For Brenda Viet, Greg Meskel signing off for now. We'll be back in about a half an hour. USA Australia round 2 live on USA Water Polo TV.